Okay, please be seated in the courtroom. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for your patience. Again, there are certain matters that have to be taken up outside your presence, and we appreciate you understanding that. Please don't hold it against either side. So with that, this witness has been sworn outside your presence, so you may proceed when you're ready.
Would you state your name, please?
Juan, Torres.
And Mr. Torres, what do you do for a living?
I am retired. Currently, I work for the State Department, and I work in Honduras right now.
You work for the State Department in Honduras.
Yes.
And when did you retire?
I retired in April of 2024.
What did you do before you retired?
I was, my last 11 years, I was a Texas Ranger.
And before you were a Texas Ranger, what did you do?
Well, in 1995, I started the academy. I was a state trooper for 8 years. I then went to become a Highway Patrol sergeant in El Paso for 5 years.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What was that?
I was a Highway Patrol sergeant
Highway Patrol.
in El Paso for 5 years. I worked narcotics for about 5 years, and then I finished my career as a Texas Ranger the last 11 years.
Okay. And what did you do as a Texas Ranger? Did you have specific assignments?
I was a like a 3D scanner. I was a firearms instructor. I attended the National Forensics Academy in Tennessee for 10 weeks in 2016. I was a crime scene instructor as well.
And so as a result of that, did you also work crime scenes?
I worked many crime scenes. Yes.
And have you worked mass shooting crime scenes?
I've worked 4 mass shooting crime scenes.
And what 4 were those?
Sutherland Springs in 2016, the Walmart shooting in El Paso in 2019, the Odessa mass shooting in 2019, and Uvalde.
Those are the 4 that you've worked.
Yes.
So mass shootings have become part of law enforcement. Is that correct?
I'm just going to object to any mention of any other shootings or anything like that, and continuing on this line of questioning.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Go ahead.
And you did work the Uvalde
Yes, I did.
crime scene, is that correct?
Yes.
And when did you arrive?
I arrived on the 24th around 11 o'clock at night, and then the 25th, a little after 7 in the morning, is when we had our briefing and started working.
And during the briefing, did you get an assignment?
I was assigned to be the photographer
And the photographer where?
for room 111.
Did the crime scene units break up into different teams?
Yes, so like I know 112 had a different team, the hallway had a different team. Once I got assigned to room 111, I stayed there and I basically just stayed in my lane.
Okay, so basically you were in room 111.
Yes.
And would you give us a general description of room 111?
When we got there, the room was in disarray. There was some markings in the room. There was a lot of shell casings. There was a lot of blood, a lot of blood swipes, and the weapon was in the closet.
Okay. And did you photograph the weapon of the gunman?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And as to the cartridge casings, did you photograph the cartridge casings?
Yes, I did.
And so shots were being fired inside room 111?
Yes, there was.
And were there results of those shots in the room also?
Yes.
And are casings implanted within that blood?
Yes.
So some of the photographs we see of casings, that's where you saw them,
Yes.
and that's where you picked them up.
Yes.
As part of a crime scene, do you also document then the pathways, if you can, of the bullet?
Yes.
And did you do that?
I assisted with that part.
You took photographs of that too?
Yes.
And does that include those rods showing the directionality?
Yes, they are.
In addition to casings, was there anything, casings and a weapon, was there any other part of a weapon that you recovered there in room 111?
There was bullet fragments, bullets, unspent cartridge cases, and a Hellfire that's attached to the weapon.
The Hellfire trigger system?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. What kind of weapon was it?
It was a down defense M4.
And are you familiar with that weapon?
It's the same weapon that the department carries.
The department carries the same weapon.
Yes.
And is it an automatic, semi-automatic, or is it a revolver type weapon that maintains the casings?
It's a semi-automatic.
And so when it is fired, does it eject casings?
Yes, it does.
And is that what you were recovering out there?
Yes, we were.
And how is the ammunition fed into the weapon?
Through the magazine?
Did you recover magazines at the scene?
Yes, we did.
And were they full or empty?
Some were full, some were empty, some were damaged.
Okay. And what was the size of the magazines? How much would they hold?
I believe they hold 30 rounds
Each.
one.
And have you had a chance to review exhibits 317 through 486 before coming here today?
Yes.
And are each of those exhibits fair and accurate representations of the crime scene as you saw them?
Yes, they are.
And is it fair to say that because they're casings, they're in blood also? Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
May we display it now, Your Honor? Those exhibits to the jury.
Yeah, Your Honor, I have something I'd like to approach on with that.
Okay.
Excuse me, exhibit 317. Could you tell us what room that you worked on at Robb Elementary?
Yes, in it.
You know,
It's going to be room 111.
and would you point that out again so that we can all see that? So would that be on the east side of the fourth grade wing?
Yes, it would.
And so the west side of the fourth grade wing,
Yes.
if there's been testimony of people being evacuated from the west side of that wing, that would be on the opposite side of room 111,
Yes, it would.
where you found this room with all of the cartridges in the blood. Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
And State's Exhibit 318. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
This is the outside of the east boom. And
So it's
windows.
starting to show us the outside of the
Yes.
east wing. And is there a white patrol car in that photograph?
yes, there is.
Would you point that out for us? And State's Exhibit 319, does that move down the east wing?
Your Honor, I'd just like to, I mean, he's pointed out a white patrol car, that was not my client's, it's Donald Page's, and he didn't. I think that has a tendency to make them believe, make the jury believe that it's my client. I think he should explain that patrol car.
It will be explained in full, Your Honor.
Okay.
That was one of the-
I'll overrule the objection at this time. You can proceed.
And State's Exhibit 319,
Yes.
excuse me, would you go back to 319? Can you see a defect in a window in Exhibit 319?
Yes.
Would you point that out for the jury? And State's Exhibit 320. Does that close in on that defect?
Yes.
And Exhibit 321. Thank you. You can have a seat. Would you tell the jury whether or not that defect in that window, whether or not that defect was part of room 111?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so one shot came through the window on the east side of the building.
Yes.
And then did you, I want to orient the jury as to room 11, so let's move to Exhibit 322. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
That's the front door to room 111.
And what condition did you find it in?
Had bullet holes and bullet holes through the window. There was one bullet hole through the door,
another indentation to the door.
And State's Exhibit 323, does that also show that it's classroom 111 in a close-up of the damage done to the?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And then as we open the door and start our way inside, would you describe what we see in Exhibit 325?
That's the inside. That's the inside of the room 111. Doors closed. You can see bloody drag marks going out of room 111.
And is there a piece of either weaponry or ammunition in that exhibit?
Yes. There's the magazine and a few shell casings.
Okay. And are the shell casings marked?
Yes, they are.
How are they marked?
They're marked with yellow arrows and orange arrows.
Okay. Could you tell us then how you went about, what were the steps you took in processing this crime scene?
Initially, we went in as a team. Our team leader gave us a brief of the room. We tried to identify as many defects, as much evidence as we could identify before we started marking or anything else. Then I went in by myself and started doing overall pictures on the entire room.
And the small yellow markers, is that the only markers that y'all had for recovering the cartridges?
Yes.
Okay. Did you thereafter use orange tints, bigger markers?
When we got there, we started using orange markers and orange tints.
Okay, thank you. State Exhibit 326, does this kind of start a rotation look around the room?
Yes, it does.
Give us an idea of the entire picture. So Exhibit 326, could you tell us what we're looking at?
It's a bookshelf. The same magazine is in the same picture. There's yellow markings identifying bullets or spent cartridge cases.
And State's Exhibit 327.
Again, there's a bookshelf with yellow markers marking spent shell casings along with blood.
And Exhibit 329.
That's a easel board that's been damaged. There's bullet defects in the easel board.
And does that show continuation down that wall, the left wall, if you walk into the
Yes, it does.
room? And is there a doorway in that photograph?
There's partial doorway in that photograph. Yes, there is.
And tell us about that doorway.
That's the closet where the gunman was killed.
And is that on the right-hand side?
It's on the right-hand side.
And on the left-hand side, was there a connecting doorway between 111 and 112?
Yes, there is. That's the door between the wall that would connect 111 and 112.
So you could move from 111 to 112 if the doorway is open.
Correct.
And is that shown on the left-hand side of the photograph?
Yes, it is.
Exhibit 331. Excuse me, 330. Is this a continuation down now the second wall?
Yes, it is.
And what do we see there?
We have the sink. We have the closet where the gunman was found deceased. The weapon is in the background. There
Would you
are
point
two-
out the weapon, where the weapon was?
Oh, it's right here.
And were you there when the gunman was there?
No, I was not.
Okay, so you can't tell us where the gunman was in relationship to the weapon.
No, I cannot.
Thank you. Exhibit 331.
Again, it's a continuation of the room. There's a desk, a bunch of papers, a wall, and there's a flat screen TV that's been shot as well.
Excuse me, you said two things have been shot?
The wall's been shot, and the television, the flat screen television, has been shot in that picture as well.
Okay. And showing you Exhibit 334?
So now I'm in the other corner of the room and just taking an overall photograph. There's sunglasses. There's one magazine that I can see and some markers in there at the bottom where the shell casings are found as well.
And earlier in your presentation, you told us about one of the windows was penetrated.
Yes,
Is that the window on the right-hand side?
yes it is.
Exhibit 335. Could you describe that for us?
That's a continuation of the same room, same wall, into the other wall. Again, it shows the television, the desks are in red, and the beginning of the whiteboard on the other wall.
Okay. And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the absence of blood along this western wall of room 111?
Yes, it is.
And exhibit 336.
That's the whiteboard on that wall. You can see the chairs are thrown around. Backpack on top of the desk.
And is there still an absence of blood along this side of the wall?
Correct. There's an absence of blood.
But now as we head to the corner of that room, does the scene change as far as the presence of blood?
It changes dramatically.
And how would you describe that?
A lot of bullet holes, a lot of shell casings covered in blood, a lot of bullet defects, perforations, penetrations, and just a lot of blood.
And that's what we're about to see now.
Yes, we are.
Showing you State's Exhibit 337. Could you describe what we're seeing here?
Again, that's that whiteboard on that wall. There's a basketball, a lot of shoe impressions. There's a tennis shoe covered in blood. You can start seeing the yellow markers that have already been put in place there for the Smith shell casings, and you can see the drag marks.
Okay, well, the children were all removed before you took any photographs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And is that indications of the children being removed?
Yes, it is.
And Exhibit 341, does it show an overall picture then of the hallway? Excuse me, 342.
Yes, it does.
Of this, of the corner.
Yes. Yes.
And is this the corner farthest from the windows as well as farthest from the door?
Yes, it is.
And is that where the preponderance of the blood was recovered?
Yes, it was.
So in your State's Exhibit 343, are there, do you see blood there both on the floor as well as on the wall?
Yes, I do.
Would you point it out on the wall, please?
Blood spatter right here, along right here, and blood spatter right here.
And what is the structure that we're looking at that is in front of that wall?
That's the desk that the children were told to hide underneath and basically stay quiet.
Okay. So that's a desk all along that wall?
All along the wall. Yes, it is.
Thank you. Exhibit 344.
That's the continuing desk. It's a copy machine.
And are we now about to make the complete 360 rotation of the room?
360, that's the entry door on the right.
And once again, Exhibit 345, that would be the entry door.
Correct.
345?
Yes, that's the entry door.
Thank you. Now, one of the things that you determined not only is picking up cartridges, did you also, were you able to determine flight path of the path of the bullets after they left the gun?
Yes,
And is that-
I assisted with that,
Okay, and you photographed that?
and I photographed that as well.
And I want to direct your attention specifically to that far left corner that we just talked about, away from the door and away from the glass.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 351. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
This is where we're trying to mark the bullet defects and any corresponding bullet defects as well.
And how did you mark the bullet defects?
I didn't mark them, and I don't remember who marked them, but I know they were marked RBD and such number.
I guess I'm just asking, what indicates on that photograph that there are markings for bullet defects?
The white stickers.
The white stickers?
Yes.
Each one marks a bullet defect,
Yes, it does.
whether a full
Full or partial.
bullet or a piece?
Or a piece, correct.
In addition to the wall, are there any bullet defects on that table or the decks that ran along that hallway wall?
There's going to be bullet defects on the table, bullet defects on the poles that are holding up the table, and the side, the walls. There's bullet defects everywhere.
Thank you. And State's Exhibit 352. What are we looking at here?
This is where we started placing the rods into the bullet defects and also into the corresponding bullet defects.
And so that shows where the bullets entered the desk covering
The children.
that wall
Yes.
and the children. State's Exhibit 355. Tell us what we're looking at here.
It's the same thing. So you have stretcher rods going against that wall, and then also down where the desk is, and behind the wall, behind the desk, into the wall,
So some shots penetrated the desk and then went in a downward angle.
in a downward angle. Correct.
And on the wall, do you likewise have rods?
Yes, we do.
And do those also show directionality?
Yes.
And as to the rods on the left, could you explain those to us also?
So that's just the rod showing where, in the general area where the shooter was standing, because those rods are going from right to left, and then the rods going into the desk and behind the wall are going from top down.
Top down?
So it's different angles.
So was the gun in a different position when those pathways were fired?
Judge, I'll object to vague speculation. I'm not really sure what he means by different position, and I don't know if this witness has the.
All right, if you'll rephrase it, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you. You talked about these rods,
Yes.
and what do the rods describe?
It describes the position where the shooter was standing.
Okay. And so if we follow the rod up for some time, we can find the position of the shooter.
Yes.
And are those rods all consistent with the shooter standing in the same position to fire the shots that left those rod impressions?
Yes, they are.
In the same position?
As he's moving around.
Oh, as he's moving around.
Correct.
I guess what I'm saying is, are the rods to the left-hand side of the photograph, is the position of the gun in a different position than when it is shooting
Yeah.
down?
Correct. Yes, they are.
Sorry, didn't make a very good question there. And Exhibit 356. Could you tell us what we're looking at here?
Again, the same bullet defects starting from the top to the bottom, and so the bullets defects on top of the table down to the bottom of the wall. We didn't notice this before until afterwards, but the rod that's pointing down actually fell, and nobody caught it until afterwards when we were reviewing the pictures as well.
So that's not an accurate depiction of the pathway of the bullet.
Not that rod.
Okay. But nonetheless, as well as the rods, does that also accurately show the blood spatter on the wall behind and underneath that desk?
Yes, it does.
State's Exhibit 357.
Again, so I have the rods going top left down, and that same rod has still not been corrected.
Okay. And then at the very top of that photograph, what do we see there?
On the top left, there's a LOL.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the top rod, the pink rod.
Yes.
They said I said 315. I go from 382 to 383. Could you describe that?
It's marker number 16 with a spent shell casing.
Okay. And the next exhibit?
Marker number 16 with a spent shell casing.
That's a close-up of
As
it.
a close-up, yes.
And 385.
That's an overall. So we have 22, 17, 18, 19, and they are going to be spent shell casings as well.
And then do you close in and pick up each one of those exhibits individually?
Yes.
And our next exhibit, marker 17.
That's number 17 with an L scale, yes.
And marker 18, exhibit 386.
A spent shell casing with the L scale.
Exhibit 387.
It's going to be marker 19, spent shell casing with an L shell.
Exhibit 388.
It's going to be number 21 and 20, spent shell casings.
And isn't that in a different location altogether in the room?
Yes, that's going to be towards the back wall where the whiteboard is.
Where all the blackboard was?
Yes.
Thank you. And exhibit 389.
That's a spent shell casing with the scale as well.
390.
A spent shell casing with the L scale.
And 391.
That's an overall of 4 markers with spent shell casings.
Okay. And marker number 22. Next one, please.
That's a spent shell casing with a L scale marked as number 22.
Exhibit. I think I got these out of order. No. 392, what does that show us?
It's number 23.
And exhibit number 393.
Again, number 23, but that's a live, unfired cartridge.
Exhibit 395.
This is number 24 with the spent shell casing with the L scale.
Exhibit 396.
Number 25 with the spent shell casing and the L scale.
397.
That's a spent shell casing.
Is it,
That's
is
a
it a
different-
different shell casing?
Yes, it is.
Tell us the difference.
That's from a pistol. That's going to be from a semi-automatic pistol.
From a pistol?
Yes.
Did you recover any pistol on or about the gunman?
No.
Is this also the room that law enforcement eventually breached?
Yes, it is.
And did they carry within their own weapons?
Yes, they did.
Is this an indication that a weapon was fired other than the long rifle that the gunman had?
Correct.
And how would you characterize the weapon that fired this?
I don't know exactly what weapon they fired, but I know it's going to be a semi-automatic pistol.
A pistol, a
Yes.
handgun as opposed to a rifle?
Correct.
And exhibit 398.
It's a spent shell casing with the L scale.
399.
A spent shell casing with the L scale.
And 400.
Another spent shell casing in dry blood with the L scale.
Exhibit 401.
A spent shell casing in blood as well.
Exhibit 402.
It's another spent shell casing with L scale and blood.
And does exhibit 403 show general locations of the next exhibits?
Yes, it does.
Exhibit 404.
more spent cartridge casings as well.
Excuse me, I have this as Exhibit 403. Okay. Make a note.
So 32 and 35 are shell casings as well.
And Exhibit 404? That's all. Could you tell us what that is?
That's a spent shell casing with L scale.
And Exhibit 405?
Another spent shell casing in blood with the L scale.
Exhibit 406?
A spent shell casing with the L scale.
And 47? 407, excuse me.
That's in,
406 and 407.
there's a spent shell casing with L scale, and there's another casing on top.
And that was 33.
Prop.
Exhibit 408?
A spent shell casing, two spent shell casings, three. There's four shell casings there.
4 shell
Four.
casings there?
Yes.
And 409?
There's two spent shell casings in blood with the L scale.
410?
It's overall of the markers with spent shell casings as well.
And this is just north of that hallway wall
Yes.
toward the center of the room?
Yes.
411?
It's a spent shell casing with an L scale.
412?
That's another spent shell casing with the L scale.
Number 413?
That's two spent shell casings with the L scale.
414?
There's three spent shell casings in there with an L scale as well.
415?
There's three rifle shell casings and one pistol shell casing with L scale.
And would you point out the pistol shell casing? Indicating the pistol was fired now twice in that room.
Yes.
Thank you. Exhibit 416?
That spent pistol shell casing.
That you just described.
Yes.
Exhibit 417?
Two spent rifle shell casings with L scale in blood.
And when you say spent shell casings,
They've been
just-
fired.
Just to be clear, that a gun has gone off, powder burned, causing an explosion, making sound.
Correct.
To each one of these cases.
For each one that's been, yes, it's been fired.
Exhibit 418?
Shell casings on top of the desk, marked 34 and 43.
And 419?
The spent shell casing in the box lid.
And 420?
More spent shell casings around the drag marks.
And Exhibit 421?
More spent rifle shell casings with an L scale.
Exhibit 422?
5 spent shell casings with an L scale.
423?
The spent shell casing with the L scale.
424, 5?
A spent shell casing with blood and the L scale. 2 spent shell casings.
And 426?
A spent shell casing with an L scale.
427?
Spent shell casing with an L scale.
And 428? Excuse
more,
me.
more spent shell casings with L scale.
I'm now on 429. What are we looking at here?
The 3 spent shell casings with an L scale and blood.
Okay, I think we're getting off on our presentation. That would be 430 that you're on there. That's 430. Okay. So 430 is 3 spent shell casings
Correct.
and exhibit 431.
A spent
A spent shell casing.
Could you point that out for us? Okay. And did you zero in on that exhibit 432?
I believe so. Yes, I did.
And exhibit 433?
Multiple spent shell casings with
So
an
at
L
some
scale.
point, your marker started marking more than one spell casing, is that
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Exhibit 434? Would you describe
Yes.
what we see here?
So there's a ruffle bag covered in blood, a spent shell casing with the L scale, and another spent shell casing on top that also has blood.
And exhibit 435?
A magazine right next to right below the rifle.
The rifle's at the top of that?
Yes.
And the next exhibit? I have that as 435.
It's a spent cartridge casing, rifle shell that has an L scale as well.
436. What are we looking at here?
Under the desk, under the chair, right next to the, I guess the arm of the chair, there's another spent shell casing marked as 55.
And 437. Excuse me, 439.
A spent rifle shell casing on the top of the desk.
And now 439.
That's the copy machine.
And on
And
top of
there's
the
a-
copy machine, is there a basket?
On top of the basket, yes, there's one, a basket on top, but there's also a spent shell casing in the, I guess, drawer.
And for the record, that was exhibit 440. And 439,
The spent shell casing inside the basket.
and 441.
That's where I try to mark the spent shell casing inside the cabinet.
And did you zero in on that
Yes, I did.
442?
To the top left corner of the 58.
And 443?
It shows the back of the cartridge where the primer struck the, or the
And
firing
did you
pin.
then change locations to the television?
Yes.
Showing you the next exhibit for, I have it as 443. Let me go. Tell us what we're looking at here.
I can't see. I'm not sure if it's a bullet fragment or what it is next to number 59.
It's obvious not a share casing then. Is that
Correct. There's nothing.
So exhibit 444, close up of that 59 marker.
That's a bullet fragment with an L scale.
And exhibit 445. What does that show us?
Marker 60 and 50, and from this distance I can't.
So have we now moved into collecting fragments
Correct.
in general?
In general.
So exhibit 446,
That's a bullet fragment with an L scale.
and before I get away from casings, let me ask you, your job is just to photograph, is that correct?
Correct.
But were all of those casings gathered
Yes, they were.
and evaluated and analyzed as to which shots belong to the gunman's versus law enforcement? Is that correct?
Correct.
But that was not done by you.
No, it's not. No, no.
Thank you. Exhibit 446. Excuse me, I guess that's 447. What are we looking at
It's
here?
a bullet hole through the window.
And is that the same bullet hole that we saw at the very beginning of your presentation?
Yes.
448. What are we looking at here?
That's a, so you can see the torn rope for the blinds, and you also see a bullet impact
Into the blind of
into
that
the
window?
blind. Yes.
Thank you. 449.
It's
What do we
another
see here?
bullet impact, and you can see where the string was also struck by the bullet as well.
And exhibit 450.
That's another bullet impact
To the blind.
through the blind. Correct.
Exhibit 451.
A scale with the bullet impact.
And 452.
A bullet fragment.
And where is it in relationship to those blinds you've just been describing?
It's at the bottom of the blinds.
453.
More bullet fragments. And
Mark
blood.
at 62.
Marked at 62. Yes.
454. Could you describe what we're looking at there?
There's a pool of blood. I see markers 28, 29, 27, and they're moving items out of the way so we can continue our search.
And underneath that sack, does it appear to be another cartridge casing?
Yes, there is.
Stage exhibit 455.
Three spent cartridge casings.
Marked at 63.
Correct.
456.
Spent cartridge casing by number 64.
457.
More of a close-up of the spent shell casing marked 64.
458.
Number 65 in the middle with the bloody tin issue in that picture of the blood.
And 459.
A bullet fragment with an L scale.
And that's marked at 65.
That's 65.
460.
Number 66 with a spent cartridge casing.
461.
A close-up of number 66 with a spent shell casing and a L scale.
462.
A spent shell casing marked number 67.
463.
A spent shell casing marked 68.
469. Or 464. Excuse me, 464. The previous was 463. It's 464.
I see the marker. Until I zoom in, I won't be able to tell what I'm looking at.
Okay. Let's look at the next one, 465.
It's a bullet fragment. Mark 69.
And exhibit 466.
It's a close-up of the bullet fragment.
467. Could you tell us what that is? Above the marker 70.
The spent shell casing in the seat.
And exhibit 468, is that a close-up of that?
Yes, it is.
469.
Overall of the closet after we started taking everything out and we left the markers there.
So exhibit 470.
A bullet fragment marked 75.
471.
I can see bullet marker 76 and 77.
And exhibit 472, does that close up on that?
Yes, there's a backpack with the water bottle on the side.
And exhibit 473 next to the backpack?
A spent shell casing.
And 474.
A spent shell casing inside the pocket of the backpack.
Exhibit 475.
Bullet fragments marked as 78.
476.
An overall where we removed the copy machine. There's markers 79 and 80.
And does it also show 79 and 80?
Yes.
Exhibit 477.
A spent shell casing found behind that marker.
478.
It's a box with a spent shell casing inside it, number 81.
And 479.
Bullet fragments. That's a bullet fragment from 81.
480. Is that just a marker that shows another
That's a marker right now
fragment?
with a fragment problem.
481.
It's another marker with fragments.
And behind number 83, what appears to be, what are those objects behind 83?
It's like an orange, like two orange cups that are like upside down, and there's a bullet impact right there.
Showing you exhibit 482.
That's the bullet impact with the location and bullet fragment.
Exhibit 483.
Another spent shell casing marked 84.
484.
Where I zoomed in on that spent shell casing.
And 485. Excuse me. I'm going to stop at 484. Back up. How long did it take for y'all to process this crime scene?
I was there for 3 days. I was sent back to El Paso, and the rest of the guys stayed there for, I'm assuming, another week is what I think I remember.
And you said something about a Hellfire trigger system.
Yes.
Was it recovered during your photography?
No, it was not.
Was it? Did y'all, after taking the photographs, did y'all review the photographs before leaving the crime scene completely?
Yes, and so Ranger Brian Burney was reading my photographs, and in my overall photographs is where he saw the Hellfire trigger system, and that's how we knew, or that's how they knew to go to that grid in order to recover it.
And so did y'all go back in to recover the Hellfire trigger system?
Yes.
And in general terms, do you know what a Hellfire trigger system is?
It's an attachment that turns your semi-automatic weapon into a full automatic weapon.
It fires much faster
Much faster.
with that trigger system on.
Correct.
Pass the witness.
I have a bit, but I think the break probably be done.
Okay, please be seated in the court. Members of the jury, we had passed the witness for cross-examination before our lunch break, so you may proceed when ready, Mr. Goss.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Torres, my name's Jason Goss. I know that you were a ranger and you retired, you said a while ago, a little bit ago.
In 24.
And now you work for the State Department over in Honduras.
Yes.
Okay, so the only thing I don't know necessarily is I would normally call you Ranger, but it sounds like that's not your title. Do you have a different title that I could call you?
No, sir.
So, Mr. Torres?
I'll work.
Okay, thank you. I guess I kind of want to start where Mr. Turner left off, which was, and I'm not going too far in depth with this Hellfire trigger, or this Hellfire system for the gun, but I do kind of want to explain, because I think a lot of people would assume that if you have something on the gun that modifies it, as you said, that allows, you know, for the gun to fire more rounds than each pull of the trigger, right? That's what the Hellfire is supposed to do.
Correct.
Fire more rounds out of the gun faster than even a human could pull the trigger. Make it more like an automatic.
Correct.
Okay, so I think a lot of people would assume that that would be a part of the gun. Do you know what I mean? And so why would it be found in a separate location? Do you know, like, what the mechanics of that is?
I know you put it behind the trigger, and as long as you press it the correct way, it'll just make the trigger bounce faster and fire like an automatic weapon.
Got it. So it sounds like what you're saying is this is kind of something that, you know, like a scope or like something else that's added to the gun, but not necessarily affixed to it. It can be taken on and off
Yes.
easily. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And that's something that presumably he would have been able to buy at any firearm shop, or is it illegal or is it legal as far as you know?
It's legal.
It's legal. So, you know, and as you probably know, modifications like that allow people and monsters really like him to do the kind of things that he did, shoot a lot of rounds in a small amount of time.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to talk about I want to kind of go to the, I guess, 319, 320, and 321. Could I get those put up? 319 through 321? Thank you. Oh, yeah, see the exhibits. Where are the exhibits?
You're right there on the corner.
All of these?
Yeah.
Got it.
I could tell you that there, I'm looking for the pictures of the hole that was in 111 that was going to, I guess, go out. They should be giving you a power. Okay.
Thank you. And yeah, Mr. Torres, I have to do that because they have all the exhibits here, but they have them in a PowerPoint here, and I don't have them in a PowerPoint the way that they do. So I'll ask them to help me out on that. So looking at, I think this is 319. We talked about this being the, I guess, the east side of the building. Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Did you take that photograph?
No, I did not.
Okay. Which is fine. Were you ever outside the building?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm not necessarily going to ask you about that, but you are, I guess, familiar with the east and the west side of the building.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the west side of the building. The northwest side is where the shooter entered. The south side, there's an entrance there, right? And so if you were looking at that picture, we would be looking at this side of the building, the east side, right?
Correct.
That I'm pointing at. Now, there are, on this diagram, this is State's Exhibit 3. I'm sorry, 1. Is it 1 for demonstrative? Okay, there's 1. State's Exhibit 1. So these would be 111 and 112, the two classrooms where the shooter entered and was firing weapons. Now, you didn't process 112 at all.
No.
And so 111, if we're looking at this, this would be on the, of these two X's. Can you see these two X's?
Yes.
Okay. It would be the one on the right.
Correct.
Okay. Now the window
that we're looking at, you talked about how you saw a defect that appeared to you as if it was fired inside and out. Did you say that? From inside the roof to outside. Not somebody firing from outside of the building into room 111.
Are you talking about the bottom picture?
Yeah, can we go to, I guess, the next picture up in the exhibit? We get a look. I'm sorry. Yeah, the next picture down, the next one, where I think it's one, and then can we go to the next one? That one. That window and that defect. Did you see the defect inside? Did you?
The bullet hole?
Yeah, the bullet
Yes.
hole. Yeah.
Yes.
Bullet hole in the window.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You saw that. You saw that bullet hole from inside.
Yes.
And you felt like the bullet was going from in the room to out of the room. Or do you not know?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
No.
Did you, as any part of the investigation, because I know that, because at the time you were a ranger, and the rangers were all over the place, you would agree.
Yes.
And we've heard from, I think you're maybe the sixth ranger that we've heard from. You guys were, over the course of days, you guys were collecting evidence, photographing evidence, doing all those things to process this scene, right?
Correct.
And at the end of all of this, a lot of your findings went into a pretty large, kind of comprehensive report about what happened.
Correct.
And did you read that report?
No, sir.
You never read the report?
No.
Did you read your own report?
Yes.
Because you wrote it?
Yes.
Okay. So, as far as, I guess, anything that you know about this case, was there ever any evidence that you heard of anybody on this side of the building firing into 111?
I didn't get that brief. We were just briefed with room 111.
Sure, I understand. But are you completely, like, other than what you saw in room 111, you don't know anything else, any other facts about this case?
No.
Well, let me ask you about that, because when we talked about 111, you kept saying that was the closet the shooter was in.
Yes.
But the shooter wasn't there when you got there.
No, sir.
Okay. So you would have had to know by some other information other than you looking at 111 that that was the closet that the shooter was in.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. Do you have any other information other than what you saw in 111 about this case?
We got the brief on room 111, and that's the only brief I got. So that's how I found out that the shooter was in the closet.
I understand.
But
But part of the brief on 111 is the brief would be that we believe that that bullet hole went from in the room and out, rather than out the room and in, because that bullet hole is a part of 111. You agree with that?
Correct.
So you got a brief on 111.
Yes.
And the part of the brief was that we believe that it was a shooter shooting out of that window, not a shooter shooting inside that window.
No, sir.
Okay,
That was not part of the brief.
Okay, nobody told you about that.
No.
Did you? Well, let's just assume that. Let's assume it's going from inside the classroom to out, right? Because if you would agree, if there was no other evidence that anyone ever fired any kind of rounds over here, which there would be if they fired rounds from that little courtyard area into that classroom, there would be, shell casings and things like that, right?
Correct.
So there's no other evidence of that, but we have tons of evidence that there was firing inside that room, obviously. Let's assume that it's from inside the room and out, okay?
Okay.
Now, when you're doing like a ballistics, right? So I say ballistics, but it's really like trajectory rods.
Yes.
You've been trained how to do that.
Yes.
Were you the one that put these trajectory rods in there on this scene?
No.
Or did you just photograph?
I just photographed.
All right. In other scenes, have you been the one to do the rods and somebody else photographs it?
Yes.
Okay. So you're aware of how that works. You're aware that a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times you would need kind of 2 points.
Yes.
Because if you get those 2 points, you could tell that it went from this point to this point, and that gives you a trajectory.
Correct.
Right. Sometimes you don't have 2 points, but the way it fits in, we kind of heard, the way it fits in can tell you something about it, maybe.
Yes.
But it's a little less accurate because you never can tell if it fit in like this a little bit or like this a little bit. You know what I mean? You can't tell with the angle unless it's just a completely tight fit. You would agree with that?
Correct.
Because it's just a loose hole. You don't know which way that the rod went unless you have another one to connect it.
Unless you have another impact.
Right.
Yes.
Another impact. And so maybe I'm not explaining as good, but I think you are. So we have 1 point, we have 2 points. In addition to the rods, have you ever used any kind of laser to take a laser, put it through a hole like that, and then see if it lines up with any defect on the outside or somewhere else?
Correct.
You've done that before?
Yes.
So you're familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do it on this?
No.
So if you didn't do it and you had the 111 brief, do you know if it was done by anybody?
No, I don't.
Right. And what I mean by that is, for instance, you got a bullet hole in this room. You get a defect on this building. Could you, if you had wanted to, or somebody had asked you to, or somebody else there, take that laser system, shine it out of that hole, and see if it would have matched up with that?
Yes.
Right. Or see if it didn't.
Correct.
Because you can shine it through and go, no, I mean the laser, because the reason we use lasers is because lasers follow the path like a bullet does.
Correct.
Bullets tend to, unless they hit something, they fly straight and go down eventually when gravity ends up taking over.
Yes.
Right? So a laser could tell you, oh, that could work, that one wouldn't work. That's impossible, that's possible, or that's possible, or that's probable, or that's impossible. It could tell you those things.
Yes.
Okay. And those lasers have pretty good range on them. If you can, they're powerful enough that they can kind of span distances. I mean, not infinite, but they can go pretty far.
Yes.
And I guess what you would see, like if I shine it right now, I mean, most of us all have seen this, but if I shine it right now, there'd be a dot on that wall up there.
Correct.
And what you'd be trying to do with that laser is kind of line it in with the hole like a rod and see, like, where's the laser shine.
Yes.
Again, it's not the exact same as having maybe the rods connected, but sometimes the distances are too far. You can't just build rods forever. If the distances are far, the laser's important.
Yes.
Okay. And that could be done with, if there were, I mean, kind of any time that you have a defect and then another defect that's a distance away, the laser can be used in order to see, either rule it out or say, yeah, it's possible that this is the round that caused that defect there.
Correct.
Okay. Now
Okay, so you talked about, because I wanted to get a little bit more information about the closet.
Can we go to 322? And Your Honor, I'd just like to know, please, that I may be going through some of these photographs that I have objected to based upon the fact that they were gruesome and based upon the fact that they were unnecessary. But because the court has allowed it, I just wanted to put on the record that I'm going through it, but I'm not waiving the objection. So that it doesn't appear that I've waived it.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, so the we're looking at, I think it's 322. Your Honor, may I approach the
Yes, sir.
television? Thank you. So we're looking at 322, and this is the door. This is the door to 111. All right.
Yes.
So this would be the like the outside door.
Correct.
Right. This would be the door that that the students and then eventually the shooter would enter into.
Correct.
So right here on that door, that would be what looks like a door handle with an exterior lock, or a lock that you can lock and unlock with a key.
Yes.
All right. Did you, when you were processing, did you try to lock that door?
I believe we did.
Okay. And were you able to lock it?
I don't remember. I think since I wasn't messing with the door and I was just taking photos,
If you don't
I don't know.
feel comfortable saying, that's okay. I don't want you to say anything you don't feel confident about. We need to make sure that everything's as right as can be. But I guess, and the reason I'm asking the question is because you would agree, as part of law enforcement, and as long as you've been doing it. So what did you do before you were a ranger?
I was in the Marines.
So you're a Marine, so you're military, thank you for your service, and then you were a ranger.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you do any like military police or anything when you were in the Marines?
I was an embassy guard.
Embassy guard. So you were one of the people that if, in a foreign country, if somebody tried to attack our embassy, you would be the one to protect it.
Yes, sir.
Understood. So I guess you understand then with that experience, embassy guard, law enforcement, that door locks and locks on doors, especially in schools, can significantly hinder anybody trying to get in and cause mass casualty.
Correct.
And so you know that that our schools, almost all of our schools across this country, have developed policies that no matter what, during the day, at night, students are there, nobody's there, that door remains locked.
Correct.
Right, for their protection and their safety.
Yes.
And if the lock is not able to be locked, who is responsible for making sure that that lock is functional and is able to be locked?
I'm assuming whoever the teacher or maintenance,
Sure.
somebody there.
Yeah,
I mean, whoever reports it, it has to be fixed.
right, you would agree. It starts probably with the teacher saying, my door won't lock, and then it goes work order, maybe goes to the administration, goes to the maintenance people, whatever else. But what you said is, and I agree with you, is that it is of primary importance for safety that lock is functional.
Yes.
Right? Because a shooter, like in this case, a shooter, if they are delayed in getting in or cannot get in, that can give other units time to respond.
Yes,
and
sir.
perhaps do something before he's able to get in the room. Right?
Correct.
Okay, so in your law enforcement training and experience, have you ever heard of something called a fatal funnel?
Yes.
Okay, what is a fatal funnel?
When you're involved in a critical incident and you basically lose your peripheral vision and you focus on one thing.
Right, sure. Then that's like and you're talking about kind of getting tunnel vision, but at some point, if you're trying to get into a door or a hallway,
Oh, yes.
right, then what does that do? For instance, let's say multiple law enforcement, multiple officer response. Can 5 of me standing here get through that doorway at the same time?
No, sir.
Because it funnels us in one by one.
Correct.
Maybe 2 by 2 if you're lucky and the door is wide enough. So a lot of times that can be somebody with a shield and people behind, or just people running in one by one
Yes.
into a door. And that's why law enforcement, they call that a fatal funnel, because if somebody's set up and ready, pop, 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 they could just knock down everybody that comes in as they come in.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can we go to that second? When they gave you, and this second picture will be 362. And I don't know, in your brief on Classroom 111, where you briefed that blood we see on the ground, that was the blood of the shooter. And that was his positioning after the BORTAC team went in and a tactical team went in and shot and killed him.
No.
You didn't know that was his blood.
No, I did not.
You didn't know that was his position.
I knew that. I did not know that was his position.
Like his ending up position.
Correct.
After he died.
I did not.
You're on a map approach to the television.
Yes.
Okay, but in being in that room, and one of the things, and I'm not saying first of all, you took pictures and you did a good job kind of going around the room, and also I know it's hard for you to take those pictures. It's hard for everybody to see. And we appreciate that you did it and you did your job. This closet here, remember that door that we talked about, the outside door we were talking about, the lock?
Yes.
Right. If we open that door, that's basically a view from opening that door. This closet is directly across.
Yes.
Right. And you know from your briefing that the shooter was in the closet when they got in there.
Yes.
Did you know also that he was in the closet with the door closed?
No.
Did you know that as they breached, it was dark, and the door opened, and the shooter?
This is all based on hearsay.
Well, we're going to have everybody testify to it, and I'm not saying anything that they know that they think is untrue.
It's still based on hearsay, Your Honor.
Well, sir, if you know, you can answer. If you don't know of your own personal knowledge, then tell him that, okay?
Yes, sir. Okay. So you said you did not know that. Did you know that the room was dark when they went in?
No.
Okay. Were you aware of a policy in the schools for the safety of the children that the teachers and the children are trained on, that when there is a shooter and they get an alert that there's a shooter on campus, that they are to go in, turn off all the lights, be quiet, and hide?
Yes.
Okay. So if it was dark when they came in, it would not be a surprise, because any teachers and students following that training would have turned all the lights off, been quiet, and hid.
Correct.
Right, okay. So this door, as we talked about in this little closet, is directly across from the door that we entered into. Okay. And in your briefing on room 111, were you briefed that this was the shooter's homeroom when he was in 4th grade?
No.
Okay, you didn't know that.
No, sir.
Right. Because if you had known that, or if anybody in law enforcement in that position had known that, and had known who the person was before they get into school or whatever else, or even when they're outside the school, that gives a little bit more information about maybe where he's headed. Not just randomly going into a room, but going into a room that he knows. Right?
Correct.
And that's important, because if that was his home room.
Objection, Your Honor. He's testifying. He's not asking questions.
It's cross-examination. I'll overrule the objection.
If that was his home room in 4th grade, then he would know, just like any student there would know, that closet was there. Right?
Correct.
If that was your homeroom or mine, and we remembered our homerooms from 4th grade, we would know the positioning if it hadn't changed, and the building hasn't changed since he was in 4th grade. But we would know that that's there. Now, a shooter who is perched there can create a fatal funnel at the entrance of that classroom.
Yes.
Right. Were you aware when you were briefed that when the BORTAC unit, that's the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, went in, they basically, what they did was they tried to do like a diversionary entry, where they came in and tried to distract at the same time as they were shooting, right? To try to figure out, because you got to figure out where the shooter is in the classroom.
Yes.
And it turned out he was here. They had to draw fire to do that. Were you briefed on that?
No.
Okay. Were you briefed on the fact that Wayne Jackson from the BORTAC unit was shot in the head by the shooter?
No, sir.
Okay. So, and that's because if you're on a stick, as they call it, you got to be on a stick, because there's the fatal funnel and you can't all fit at the same time. You go into the classroom and go to the side, and Wayne Jackson is at the very end, and he gets hit in the head, and it turns him around. You didn't know that?
No, sir.
Okay, so it's safe to say that this shooter is a mass child murderer who wants to be a cop killer. You would agree with that?
Possible?
Based on those facts?
Yes.
As I gave it. And this shooter is, because a shooter in a mass shooting, you said you've worked several. A shooter in a mass shooting can kill themselves, right? That's something that has been done and can be done. A shooter can turn the gun on themselves.
Yes.
They can, continue to kind of roam around in the classroom and aimlessly maybe, or, doing stuff or saying stuff, or they can walk around the classroom with their gun. They can do that, right?
Yes.
Okay. They can try to escape if they can figure out or try to find a way to get themselves out, so they can commit the shooting and do this horrible
tragic, terrible thing and then escape the consequences of it. They can try to do that
Yes.
by getting out a window or even maybe trying to come through the door and shoot their way out or whatever else, right?
Correct.
But in this case, after he had committed his atrocities, he got in a closet and waited for the police to come in so that he could try to kill them, based on all the facts that you have.
Correct.
Okay. So he's a mass child murderer who wants to be a cop killer, and luckily for Officer Jackson, it hit him in the top of the head, spun him around, but didn't kill him. But had it done that, he would have been both a mass child murderer and a cop killer, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can take that picture. So like you said you were trained on a Leica 3D scanner,
Yes.
and one of those things is with a Leica is that right, yeah, and we say Leica, and but I think Leica is a brand name.
It's a brand name. Yes.
What's it? Oh, I guess what's it called? What's the generic name for a Leica scanner? If you even know, I've always said Leica, but one of the other rangers said that there was a system that was out there. It was called like a Total View or something. But you've been trained on Leica.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
it's a 3D scanner.
Well, let's talk about Leica.
Okay.
And 3D scanner. Judge, may I use the well?
Yes.
So we have a, just so they know, and Gary explained it a little bit, but it's a tripod, usually.
Yes.
The scanner sits on, scans an area, and can tell you, one of the most important things it tells you is distances between things at the scene,
Yes.
right? And sometimes it may not be necessary, like you didn't do a Leica scan in 111.
No.
Right. And you wouldn't do that because the room was connected to 112 through I guess there was a door, kind of an open door, that I suppose could be shut. But those two, you could pass from 111 to 112.
Yes.
Yeah. And somebody else had the brief for 112.
Yes.
Okay. So just in general, though, because I know you didn't have the briefer out here. I'm not going to try to take you too far afield. But just in general, in your forensics training, like a Leica scanner, for say in this field, and in this area, this area, this area, this area, this area, that would tell distances between shell casing, between cars,
Yes.
between car and a building, right? Between entrances, between these cars in the parking lot. All of those things, a Leica pretty quickly would be able to scan it, get 1 million points of data, and then that's how it ends up. Is we could end up saying, well, this is 15 feet from this, or this shell casing is 10 feet from this shell casing, and this shell casing is 50 feet from that one, right?
Correct.
All right. So when we talk about this area here, I want to talk about shell casings and shell casing collection. Have you ever been part of this, Gary, what was that called, the line that they do?
Line search.
Line search. You ever been part of a line search?
Oh, yes.
Right? And you say that like yes, of course, and I've done it a lot.
Yes.
Right. So in this case, the FBI do a line search. They do a line search all the way out here, all here, looking for shell casings, right? And so the way they described it is, everybody's in a line.
Objection comparing testimony to other witnesses, Your Honor.
I don't think that's an objection, and he's been proffered as an expert by the state.
I don't rule the objection. Go ahead.
So they walk in a line, and I see something. Everybody stops, flag, and do that. Is that your experience the same way?
Yes.
Have you ever had to go on your hands and knees?
Yes.
And what would the reason for that be?
High grass, weeds.
Sure. You can't necessarily trust if you're standing all the way up. You can't trust your ability to maybe see something, so you get down lower to the ground.
You get down over the ground. I mean, you can use flashlights as well.
Right. Sure. And so it's you would agree that it's a thorough search, is what you're trying to do.
I would add another search. I mean, a different technique.
Which
What I would- in the past, I've used ATF canines that are specifically trained to look for shell casing, burnt gunpowder.
Right. 'Cause-
And yes,
And that's interesting, because you would have like you'd have like the K9 that we see at the airport that is, and maybe sometimes at a traffic stop, hopefully not, but sometimes, that is trained to detect drugs, right? Cocaine. And those dogs that are trained to detect cocaine are, like, that's what they do. They detect cocaine. There's other dogs that are trained to detect bombs, and that would be really not, here's a bomb. What they're trained on is they're trained on the things that make up bombs. C4, other things like that would go into the bomb making if somebody were to do that. And then you have other animals like you talked about, these canines, that are highly trained to detect the scent of gunpowder, which would be on a shell case. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's assume that, that all the search is done the way that you feel should be done. And there are, if you look at this, I don't know if you got this from your brief, but I'll just tell you because this is the state's map.
Objection to just telling them, Your Honor, that's not a question.
I'm just
rephrase it, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just trying to orient you because this is the state's map, and I don't know if you can see this red line. Can you see this red line here?
yes, sir.
Okay. This is the state's map, and this is the shooter's path, and this is the culvert where he wrecked, right, at the start of this thing. Can you see that red X?
Yes.
Okay. So, a path that takes him the way that this path takes him, if shots are being fired along this path, they're being shot here, 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 here. All things considered, as an investigator, would you expect to find shell casings? Assuming they weren't picked up, assuming that they weren't moved, but a shooter shooting, as he goes this way, would you expect there to be evidence of shell casings to the right of where the shooter was?
It would depend on how he's holding the weapon.
Sure.
So he can be holding it sideways,
Right.
and the shell casing going straight up in the middle. So
Right.
they can bounce either way.
But I guess to go left, to start ejecting out from the left, you would have to be holding it upside down. If the ejector port is on the right side of the gun, when the gun's right side.
Yes.
Right. So it would require somebody holding an M4 upside down and shooting to get ejection coming out the left side.
It's possible. I mean, it all depends on how the person was holding the gun. I mean, that's just a big variable.
And I agree with you. It's a big one. But we can say ejector port to the right, shell casing go to the right.
Right.
Right. Unless it's upside down, and then it would eject out to the left.
Right.
Not a common way to
No.
use an M4, right? Maybe here to the side, up, and the power is making it go up. But either way, all of this we're talking about, right or left.
Right.
You'd expect them to be somewhere around here
Yes.
if you were shooting around here. Okay. And shell casings that are here and here would be consistent with this, with, even from their own map, would be consistent with somebody firing along this route and this route.
Yes.
Right? Oh, these.
Judge, I'll pass
Sure.
To be exposed to a fatal funnel, do you have to go to the fatal funnel?
Yes,
If you don't approach the fatal funnel, you're not exposed to a fatal funnel.
correct.
I couldn't see because I was sitting right directly behind Mr. Goss. He was talking about the shot coming from 111. Could you point that out just in general terms about where that we're talking about? Your fingers there on the east side of the wing. And then he was talking about a building that it could have gone to. That building there?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I understand that.
Bill, you gonna have any?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna have anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
And when you were the crime scene worker in this case, you picked up casings, correct? And fragments of bullets or bullets,
Yes.
and defects.
Yes.
And what's a defect?
Where a round makes an impact on an area, or a desk, a wall.
That's pretty standard stuff, right? If a bullet hits something, it leaves an impact and you can see it.
Yes.
And have you ever known a bullet to go through a solid object without leaving an impact?
Correct. No.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Just, as far as approaching the fatal funnel, all law enforcement is taught to be very cautious about a fatal funnel because a dead police officer doesn't help anybody, right?
Correct.
I mean, one police officer after another going in and dying and stacking up in front of that door is not going to save any of those children.
We're taught to get away from the fatal funnel.
Right. I'll pass it.
No further question.
Recall for this witness, either side.
Your Honor, this witness is out of country. I hope we can let it go.
Yes, Your Honor, and I do understand that. I don't want to keep him in, and I know he's got important work to do out of the country. So.
You're excused, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reverena.